Hello everyone. Let's go over the ban list updates for the 3-card blind format that will come into effect this April. Last month, as a community, you voted on these 5 cards to determine whether you would like them to remain legal in the format or to be added to the ban list. Of these 5 cards, the only one that was added to the ban list was Leyline of Singularity. Before we dive into some of the implications of the Leyline of Singularity ban, I did want to acknowledge here that this is an extraordinarily low number of unbans in the history of this format. The main event that preceded this ban vote had the most diverse meta that we've ever seen in the history of this format. For that reason, even though there were some decks that performed better than others, there were no major outliers, which is why the community overwhelmingly voted to keep most of these cards legal. Our one ban, Leyline of Singularity, is a card that's been part of the format for a very long time. In combination with Caracas, we have seen it paired with various different white 1-drops to leverage the unique ability to repeatedly bounce creatures throughout the course of the game. Across several different months and with many unique 1-drop pairings, we've seen this combination become a mainstay in the 3-card blind format. I think the card going away has a few different implications. The first of which is that 1-drops that could be cast off of Caracas no longer have a distinct advantage over other 1-drops. Another thought here is that Leyline of Singularity was a major predator to go-wide token strategies, because turning those tokens into legendary creatures would prevent players from accumulating more than one of them. I'm eager to see how the meta shifts as a result of Leyline of Singularity being added to the ban list. We also need to discuss the outcome of this month's unbanned vote that supporters of this community have the privilege of participating in. Out of all of the cards that were available to unban this month, none of them received sufficient support to remove them from the ban list. Since there were so few updates to the ban list this month, we have a bit of time here that we can spend discussing the new cards that will be coming with Tarkir Dragonstorm that will be legal to play in the 3-card blind main event beginning in April. I'm going to cover the 3 cards that I think will have the greatest impact on the format among the cards that have been revealed so far. The first card to discuss is Sage of the Skies. In combination with Ancient Tomb and Mox Pearl, you can cast Sage of the Skies on turn 1 and trigger its extra effect to create an additional copy of itself. This will give you 2 creatures with flying and lifelink, which makes you extremely difficult to outrace. The fact that these threats are split into 2 separate bodies also makes the deck have a natural resistance to single target removal. I think that this is positioned to be a very strong all-in strategy. Our next card is Riling Dawnbreaker. Or more accurately, I should say that the card that we really care about is Signaling Roar, which is the Omen component of Riling Dawnbreaker. Omens work a little differently than adventure cards. Similar to adventures, this is an alternate casting mode for the card, but what makes Omens unique is that when they resolve, they shuffle into their owner's library. In the context of 3-card blind, this means that you can use Riling Dawnbreaker, a Mox, and a utility land to produce a 2/2 token every turn, because the card will shuffle back into your library and it will be the only card available for you to draw, meaning that you have access to it every turn. In recent months, we've seen the Sarcomancy Tel'Jalad Stylus deck perform quite well, which goes to show that in the context of 3-card blind, producing a 2/2 every turn is an extremely powerful effect. Riling Dawnbreaker has a small advantage over Sarcomancy because you can fall back on that utility land in unusual circumstances where your primary game plan falls apart for some reason. Using Sarcomancy as a baseline, I feel pretty comfortable saying that Riling Dawnbreaker will be a core part of the meta for the coming month. And the final card we have to discuss is Sinkhole Surveyor. Sinkhole Surveyor is an evasive 2-drop that every time it attacks, you have the choice to either build it into a larger and larger threat, or produce tokens for a go-wide strategy. Scaling threats in 3-card blind are generally speaking very powerful. But what makes Sinkhole Surveyor special is that it itself can grow and attack at the same time, and it can optionally produce blockers if it is worried about a threat outracing it on the ground. It feels a little bit like a combination of Bitter Blossom and March from the Black Gate. Unlike the two enchantments I just mentioned, Sinkhole Surveyor itself is quite vulnerable to single target removal, but each of the decks that we might use this card in are going to have some sort of backup plan. Mox plus utility land can rely on those utility lands, and if you're casting Surveyor off of Peat Bog, you can be packing your own interaction or perhaps a second copy of Sinkhole Surveyor itself. Needless to say, I'm very excited for Tarkir Dragonstorm and what it's going to bring to the 3-card blind format. Don't forget to submit your deck through the website between the 1st and 7th of the month. Happy brewing, everyone! Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you soon.